Welcome to Cheesecode by Roman Dmitri. Today I want to show you how to add a stubb-go service to create an API in the Monorepo. Today I'm doing things differently. The last video took me about 40 hours by the time I wrote the script, recorded it, made the extra footage and edited it. It was simply way too long for a 12-minute video. So today I'm just going to try to do everything on the fly and hopefully it's smooth and I'll cut it where I need to. We're resuming our series on the Monorepo, and today I'm adding a Golang API. What you see on my screen is an updated version of the stub repository. If you're curious about that, just go to the beginning of the playlist and catch yourself up. Anyway, I've written some code, and as of right now, we actually have the stubb-go API working as expected. On the left side of my screen, you can see that I still have the configurations that we had last time, and they're up here. And on the bottom, you'll see that I'm actually making calls to our new API, and it's responding with a random set of data as well as environment variables that it has. So if I press reload, you'll see that it's making new API calls. I can show you over here, and it's setting the data to us. Pretty sweet. Right now it's already up and running, but let me actually go in here. So that's what the containers look like, but I'm just gonna call make local boot to see how long it takes with the new changes. If you remember last time it took 3 seconds, and now it looks like it's also taken 3 seconds, which is sweet. You'll notice here that I still have React running on port 1210, but I've also added port 1220 to our Nginx proxy to expose stubb-go. Why don't we look at that real quick? Actually, before we get into that, I want to show you that we're running version 0.2.0 for our stubb-react changes in the stub repository. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, go back to the introduction video of this playlist and you should be able to catch up. Right now I have 27 changes, and let's just collapse this real quick. You'll see they're made in stubb-react. The changes that you see on my screen compared to last time is basically the changes that are here. I won't go into them. You can look at them on your own. If you don't know how to make an API call, well, I have a simple fetch example in there. For Nginx, I only had to make one change, so let's make this bigger and readable. I added a route handler for the Go folder, and that's forwarding to port 1220 from our entry point, same as last time with React. What you see here is 1210. I've also set us up for success in the future by adding a go/socket route, because I suspect we'll need one. And even if we don't get into a video about it, it's something you just want to generally have if you want to make yourself some sockets. So, why bother doing it every time? So in the script section, I simply added another reference to our Docker compose file, and we'll get to that in a sec. And I've added a minor tweak to the utility file. If you remember last time, we needed to install Webpack to React. Well, in a similar fashion, we need to install a few other dependencies for Go, so I basically made a make target that will do that. Let's now take a look at the Go changes that I've added. So with local install, the biggest thing is go mod download -x, just to download our dependencies and tidy up the mod file and verify that everything exists. Happens really quick and you're good to go. I don't think there's a need today to show you how I run my Go stuff. That's maybe even subjective. The goal of today's video is just show you how you can incorporate a Go service as part of the Monorepo. The rest of the stuff is completely up to you, and I'll leave it at that. We have our Docker ignore file, our regular git ignore file, and we have our Docker compose. So let's look at Docker compose. It's more or less the same as before, but before we were using React with Webpack, and now it's a Go container, and I like to use gen to check for changes, and then hot reload the application. The container name is stubb-go. We got our secret, same as before. One cool thing that I do is similar with the node modules in the React repo. We actually mount the volumes from my local host machine into the container, so that way anytime packages need to be installed or updated, they already exist for all the services that need them. Let's see. Because we're using Gin, we're using port 3000, and that's specified here. And we're publishing port 1220 onto the host machine from the container. Volumes, I just mentioned these. This is where the local packages are. We bind the entire source folder and mount that into the container, just like we're doing with React, so that everything's available. And we're also mounting the scripts folder, again, same as before, just so we have access to all of these scripts. As far as the Docker file that gets loaded, again, it's coming right from over here. Going into there, I'm using Golang 1.24. You can update that to whatever you like. I install some of my personal preference dependencies, and then I use Gin. So you can look this up, but as I mentioned, this is what does the hot reload inside of our container if code changes, so you don't manually need to recompile. Permissions, same as before with React in the previous video. This helps get around any sort of super user issues that you might have in case files are created from within the container onto the host machine. And it's not shown right now, but I like to use autocompletion when I run my Go in a CLI mode. So I found this nice package from Pwner called Complete, and all you do is tab and it will finish what you're doing. I'm gonna try to show it to you right now with actually, let me show you the make commands. Go mod, there's no dependencies. Main is very simple, and here are my make commands. So I can bash into my container, and this is more or less what I'm going to use to run in CLI mode. But what else we got? So this was exposed in the utility file. I mentioned that earlier. Logs are fun to watch, you know, if whatever's happening. I should probably show you that. Let's show you that right now. So I'm going to close this guy, go back to my stub repository, clear this out, make stubb-go, and as I tab, it already wants to autocomplete for me. So let's go to logs. It looks like it's already finished building and it's outputting the API. One thing I do want to add, I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but if I do restart, it'll restart just this container and go back into log mode. So, but as I reload, I just have some code in my file that will say, hey, we have a new request coming here. I'm not demonstrating my Go skills here. Restart, run, same as before, spins up an isolated container, not really part of the ecosystem, and runs any scripts that we want. So these will be like install scripts. And bash. So let's bash into this container. Make bash. I'm in the container, and if I run source main, you can see that it's booting. I actually have some code in there to specify that we're running in API mode, or we're running in running anything else. But right now there's no handler there. If I wanted to do autocomplete, I currently don't have anything set, but maybe I'll show you how to do that in a separate video. Well, that's basically it. There's not much to it once you get a hang of it. All we really have to do is make a new service folder called, whatever you want, stubb-go, and then put your regular dependencies in there. Get your Dockerfile if you want one. You don't even really need one. You could write, image name here, and it will just simply run the image. The most important thing, I think, is mounting these folders, exposing these ports, and then handling them in your Nginx config file. Now, like you've already seen, I can simply run the code and I have a fully functional Go server. How freaking awesome is that? Okay, well, this definitely took me less than 4 hours, or I'm sorry, this definitely took me less than 40 hours so far, so I'm already happy. So, just like you, I like to wipe my ass front to back, and that's the same trajectory that we're taking with this repository. Basically, we've already done React, Today I showed you Go, which is the backend, and we're going to go even deeper by integrating Postgres in the next video. So please like and subscribe if you're into this. I wish I had more jokes for you today, but again, I didn't write a script, and such is life. Questions, comments, fuck yous, leave them down below. I can't wait to hear them. Peace outside and inside, stay safe, all that shit. By the way, I have 3 other channels if you're not aware. So Cheesecode for 3D printing, that's my snap maker behind me. I also have Cheesmoto for motorcycles, and Cheesewood for making furniture. I literally just started that yesterday. Anyway.